I bet you would love to have a more profitable bar, and one of my favorite tips for restaurants and bar owners is coming up right here. It's about your bottle beer, but it'll affect your entire bar. I'll explain more in a second. Hey everybody, Ryan Gromfin, author, speaker, chef, restaurateur, founder of therestaurantboss.com as well as clickbacon.com, and we are going to teach you how to lower your restaurant and bar bottle beer costs. So, like I mentioned earlier, one of the first things that I do when I'm working with a new client is I make sure that they have a system for counting their bottle beer, a key item inventory, if you will. Now, bottle beer is usually not one of the first places that there's a ton of theft or giving away. Maybe it's still a form of theft from your bartenders and your servers. It does occur, and even the most honest bartenders and servers are going to give away a bottle of beer to their friends, or they might go ahead and take a drink themselves. Hey, listen, I love to tell the quick story. I'm not going to get into too much detail of it here, but sometimes our staff just doesn't understand the definition of theft. I used to steal from a restaurant that I worked at. When I was young, I worked at a 5-star hotel, fantastic restaurant, and when I say I used to steal, I didn't think of it as stealing. I never walked into their storage room and stole something and take it home with me or resold it to friends. But we had a shift drink once in a while. We weren't supposed to, and we knew we weren't supposed to, but we worked hard. And at the end of a shift, it wasn't uncommon for us to ask one of the servers to grab us a 6-pack of beer, and the 5 cooks or the 6 cooks and us, we'd finish cleaning the restaurant, we'd clock out, and then we'd have a beer. Now that's theft. You may not think of it as theft, but that's theft. And when I was young, when I was 18, 19 years old, I didn't really think of it that way. I do now. But the point is, this is a system that is easy to do, and it will send a signal to your staff that we are measuring things, that we are counting things. And when you measure and when you count, your staff is a little bit more aware of what's going on. I can tell you right now that if we measured the beer at the hotel that I worked at, I wouldn't have been asking the servers to get me a 6-pack of beer or to get us cooks a 6-pack of beer. It just makes one more barrier to cheat the system, if you will. So here's all I need you to do. You can create a fancy spreadsheet for this. You can do it on a scratch piece of paper. There's tons of different variations on how to do this. You can do it blind or not, but here's how simple it is. I want you to, every single day, count how many bottles of beer you have. Why do we do bottles of beer? Because it's easy. Kegs are harder. Next week, we're going to talk about how to do the same thing with kegs, but it's way harder with draft beer. So start with something simple. Count your bottles of beer. You either have a bottle or you don't. It's very simple. You don't sell a portion of a bottle of beer. Count how many bottles of beer you have in the morning. If you receive any of those particular bottles throughout the day, then you're going to add it to your count, right? So if you start your day with 20 bottles of a beer and you receive 2 cases, that's 48. Well, now you have 68 available for sale. And then at the end of the day, you're going to count how many you have, or the next morning you can count how many you have. And then you go to your POS system to confirm that the amount you have compared to the amount that you should have had matches the amount you sold. So use that example. If we have 68 bottles available for sale, and then the next morning I count and there's only 30 bottles, well, that means that 30 have gone missing. Well, hopefully they've been sold. So then you go to your POS system and you look and you see, well, how many of that bottle did we sell? Well, if you only sold 28 of them and you're missing 30, 2 of them are in a customer's belly or in a employee's belly, or they got dropped on the floor. That's where a waste sheet or a broken sheet or a spill sheet comes into play. Now, again, there's some variations on how you do this. You might want to do this blind if you're not always the one there and you're having a manager count, then maybe your manager shouldn't have access to sales data, like total sales data, so that way they can't manipulate it. Some restaurants will go so far as that anytime there is a broken bottle, it has to be set aside. But again, it's easy to just take a bottle out of the trash and break it and set it aside. again, we're getting way too far into the weeds here. There are always ways that your staff is going to steal from you, and there's always one more level of protections that we can put into place to prevent it. But the whole point is to keep honest people honest. If you have a thief amongst you in your restaurant, there's almost nothing we can do to prevent that. So let's keep honest people honest. Let's keep this light and fun here. Let's add one new process, one new procedure to your daily routine that won't take you more than about 3 or 4 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes at the most if you sell a lot of beer. But I want you to do a daily beer bottle count. It will affect your entire restaurant in a positive way, I promise. I hope you enjoyed this week's tip. My name is Ryan Gromfin with The Restaurant Boss, and I look forward to bringing you another great one just like this next week. Have a wonderful day. I want to thank you for watching that video. If you can do me 3 really quick favors right now, very quick. The first is, if you haven't already, will you subscribe to this channel? In a moment, some things are going to pop up on your screen, some buttons, and one of those buttons is going to be subscribe. So whether you're watching this on my channel or on YouTube or on your phone, just stick around for 1 second and you're going to see a big subscribe button. If you haven't already, could you please subscribe? 2, if you haven't liked this video, will you go ahead and click the like button? Actually, don't just click it. Will you smash that like button and tell the world that you really enjoy this? Because the way that I can continue to bring you all this great free training is for my message to expand, for more restaurant owners and future restaurant owners around the world to be watching this. And so the way to do that is to like my video. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a place for you to like it. Or if you're back on my website, there'll be a place for you to like that. So smash that like button for me. And then also, could you leave a comment? Ask me a question. I reply to all my comments as fast as I can, usually within about 24 hours. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But go ahead and ask me a question, leave me a comment, tell me you love the video, tell me you'd like to see something else in a video. If you need more detail on a certain area, I can film other videos about that. But if you can go ahead in a couple seconds now, it's gonna come out. If you can subscribe, like, and comment, that would be great. Also, there'll be a spot in this little button coming out in a few seconds where you can download something for free. I'm always rotating that, so take a look at that, some free tools. But if you're new to my channel, if you've never seen my videos before, there'll also be a spot for you to watch a video that'll kind of introduce you to what I do here at The Restaurant Boss and at clickbacon.com and tell you about what we do and how you can get more involved and how you can get more free stuff and all that. So the buttons should be coming in by now. Go ahead and click on those and have an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you so much.